guys, for getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Today, and I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, we're gonna be giving you guys a second helping. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna just give you one dose. We're gonna give you two doses champagne and caviar today. I know you gotta love it, man. How you feeling, dog?
Hey, boy, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? I'm feeling good. We have a great weekend coming up with all kinds of big action. And also, the thing that I'm most excited about is on Saturday morning, Reality of Wrestling makes its return to the CW39 KIAH, the same station that the legendary Paul Bosch ran on all those years ago, back in the Houston wrestling days at the Sam Houston Coliseum. So I'm excited. I'm excited. We went from the Sam Houston Coliseum to the World Gym Arena, right? As the heart of Houston wrestling.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And people are going to get to see the first ever Sherry Martel Classic.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. Not only are we honoring Paul Bosch, we're honoring Sherry Martel.
As you say that today, I'm representing Reality of Wrestling and Houston Wrestling because you know I wear the ring and I got to watch the reality. The Roex. I got the Roex today because it's coming up, man. I cannot wait to see the first show on CW39 in quite some time, actually, and it's going to be an extravaganza, man. The Sherry Martel Classic kicks off. So, guys, if you're anywhere in the Houston surrounding areas, you got 39. Give us a shout, man. Give us a shout. Check out the show and let us know exactly what you guys think about it. Because me personally, I think it's a pretty good show, man. I must say, and the ladies at that Sherry Martel Classic, I must say, they knocked it out of the park, man. Can't wait to see it.
Show up, show out. Did the ladies do at the World Gym Arena on Saturday? In this edition of Reality Wrestling's show, the Sherry Martel Classic on CW, and on the 50 other plus markets that we are across the country, including Dallas. If you're in the Dallas area, you know, this Saturday as well. But this is going to be like a 1 hour condensed version, and then you'll be able to see the full live pay-per-view on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel. So it's going to be really awesome. I mean, there are 3 rounds of action, and this tournament was formatted like no other tournament has ever been formatted before. 3 rounds. If you win your first round of action, you go to a triple threat match. The winners of the triple threat meet in the finals. So I liked it. I liked how it was set up, and I'm excited for the people to see it.
You know what I can't wait to see is how many other companies are going to steal it.
Well, you know, if something's good.
That's what I can't wait. You know, we might have to put some kind of a signature mark on this just so everybody knows exactly what, because I don't remember anything like this happening in the past or anything like that. So I think we might want to put a signature on this format because I think it's the first it's ever been done. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know of a tournament ever being this way, you know, so I like it, but I don't know if we can put a trademark on it, right? Isn't imitation the most sincere form of flattery? Like, what if the guy who invented the cage match was like, no one else can do the cage match? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying no one else can do it, but you know they got to give us. We should get some kind of like little point or something, maybe in dollar form.
Yeah, that's what I like the most.
I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. No, man. I'm just saying we are trying to be innovators in reality wrestling and do things a little bit different. Because in professional wrestling, everybody is doing the same thing, and you got to figure out how to do that same thing just a little bit different. And I think that's what reality of wrestling is all about. First and foremost, having the youngest roster in all, I think, of professional wrestling, I think is our signature mark. And not just having the youngest roster, but having, one of the most experienced young rosters out there that can really go out there and work at a very high level. So that's what I'm so proud of, that we got a bunch of guys that a whole lot of people don't know. But when you see them, you go, man, these guys are pretty good. These guys are pretty good. And that's the only thing that you need in this business to actually catapult you to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. So if you never checked out Reality Wrestling, why don't you join the over 500,000, almost 600,000 people who've already subscribed on YouTube, because we're going to get that up to 1 million here real soon, Book, and join the people who've watched it for years across the country on your local television provider, including if you're in the Houston area this Saturday. check your local listings, of course, for Reality of Wrestling. You're going to be seeing
Yeah.
a lot more of us on that station too, by the way. That's from what I'm hearing.
Oh,
What I'm
really?
hearing. We're going to be all over the place.
Did you hear something? Did you hear
I
something?
heard some little birds are talking. So
Well, let the
you have
birds
to have
keep talking. I hope it's parrots, because they talk a lot.
they talk the most. And they talk the language that I can understand. You know what I'm saying? Hey, before we get into like too much wrestling, boxing, MMA, because there's a lot that we're going to get into today. Did you see what happened last night with Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, somebody thought he was Roman Reigns.
Somebody
Yeah.
thought he was the head of the table.
Exactly. And he wanted to see what his spear looked like and go to jail in the process. Yeah, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Chris Rock was there. You heard what he said.
Did he say, was that Will Smith?
That Will Smith. So, yeah, man. Serious though, man. Serious. The dude could have really got hurt. I heard the guy had a knife as well. And I hope they lock his ass up for assault and give him 5 to 99.
Let me ask you something, though. And this is a real question. I'm not trying to start up controversy. But what's the difference from what he did and what Will did?
Well, everybody know Will Smith. That's the difference.
So if everybody knows you and you like shoot somebody, it's like, oh, okay, well, we all know him. Like, he's
Well,
all right.
no, I'm just saying. I mean, everybody know Will Smith. Everybody know the history. A lot of people thought it was a joke. It didn't look like anything that was, gonna get out of hand there for a second, and then boom, what happened. And I think those guys were just caught off guard at the academy. Everybody back there, all of them, you gotta understand, man. There's a bunch of white folks in the back, right? 2 black guys just went out on stage and did something just stupid, outlandish, right? They back there wondering, what should we do?
Hey, guys, can we have a little powwow?
Can we figure this out? How should we do this? You know
What
I
do
mean?
we need to do?
Let's just wait till tomorrow. That's exactly what happened, man. No diss or anything like that. But they were wondering. This fool run out of the audience on stage and tackle Dave Chappelle, man. I'm sure he got a good whooping in the back.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure of that. And I hope it was worth. Then again, man, you got to look at people like this as I mean, he's got to have a mental problem
sure.
to do something like that.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, he bought a ticket to get in to do something stupid. When people do that kind of stuff, man, it's obviously something wrong with him, man. Yeah, so I mean, hopefully the guy get help after he come from the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never seen it, by the way, go Google Bret Hart Hall of Fame 2019 and see what happened to that guy.
Yeah,
Right? The FTR, right? My man from the FTR beat up, got a nice couple of shots on him.
Yeah.
Cash Wheeler.
What the UFC fighter got in there too, right? What's his name?
Travis Brown.
Yeah, Travis Brown.
Yeah.
You know what? I said, man, we need to hire this guy as security. He need to be special security and don't do anything. Be like the Virgil role, but for real. You know what I'm saying? All he do is hang out ringside, get paid 6 figures a year.
I like that. That's
Bro.
That's great money.
Bro, it's great money, and I think a guy like him could get the job done. In case something stupid like that was to happen on the regular. I remember we had a guy, God bless him, right now he's going through some heart problems. One of my good friends, Jimmy Tillis, used to be security for WWE, and he was my first assignment when I came to WWE, right? Because he was supposed to jump over the barrier and stop me before I did what I did with Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think, or somebody. And I whacked him so hard, he had to have knee surgery.
You hurt all kind of people that night. Who were you, Nia Jax?
Hey, man. I swear, man. But yeah, man, you got to have some good security is my point.
Well, we got a myriad of things to talk about today on the show. We already got flooded with super chats so far. I know we're getting close to a break time, book, but
we're getting close. We're getting close to a break, man. But of course, we got UFC 274 coming up this weekend, as well as we got that Canelo Alvarez versus that kid from Russia, Dmitry Bivol. And that right there, everybody is expecting, fireworks in that fight right there. And another person that's making fireworks in the world right now is Freddie Prinze Jr. We got to talk about this, man. We got to talk about Freddie Prinze Jr. saying he finna start up another wrestling organization. He's going to call it AEWE. I'm just playing. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
In here for Physique.
Absolutely. And Kirby, carry on. What do we know about Janai Kai? As we get the match started, I apologize, Rachel, but here we go. Janai Kai, Promise Brecht.
The kick demon, as she is known. Look at this. Backing up Promise.
In order to defeat Janai Kai.
I mean, everyone's upping their game coming up to the Sherry Martel Classic, clearly trying to impress Booker, trying to qualify for that Classic. I clearly don't have to. I'm the champion. I'm automatically in that.
Oh, look at this, though, Janai Kai. This could be all cover. 1, 2, and the chosen one kicks out. Braxton able to get his shoulder up. She's able to get her shoulder to block that kick. And I think she's looking for a broken promise, Kirby. Has her up.
This might be all.
And broken promise to Janai Kai. Can she capitalize? Cover. 1, 2, 3. The Rebel Buddhist victorious on her march to the Sherry Martel Classic.
Nice to see you, Janai.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Just talking about my man Freddie Prinze Jr. Getting ready to perhaps endeavor into the world of professional wrestling, saying he's going to be perhaps launching a promotion in about 18 months. And that right there, man, is that's huge, man. That's a huge load to partake. Trust me, I know, being in the business as well as having my wrestling school now for 18 years, and my wrestling promotion now, I guess about, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12. Man, and I know how hard it's been for, reality wrestling to just get to this point, and we're still like in our infancy stages. We're like taking baby steps, and I'm still like, man, we gotta, we still got so much further to go. And I see someone like Freddie Prinze say, man, he's going to start a wrestling organization, but not just start a wrestling organization, but really, really take this thing to another level for the wrestlers, for us. All of his wrestlers, he wants to be SAG employees. He wants all these guys to get benefits. He wants these guys to get insurance, as well as pension and all of that. That right there, man, that right there is huge. And that's the question. Do I think something like that is really, really honorable? I really do. But to be able to kick something off like that in 18 months and actually make it work, because one thing about professional wrestling, it is a performance, and what he's talking about as far as all these guys being SAG, I'm trying to figure out, is it going to be a show like Young Rock with a bunch of guys playing wrestlers, on a television show, like the show Heels or something like that. But as far as finding the characters to play those roles, and then put them all under a SAG, banner where these guys are literally actors. I'm just wondering how that's going to play out, man. I'm just wondering, can Freddie Prinze Jr. pull something off like that? I know Freddie's a whole lot closer to the world of Hollywood than I've ever been.
Right.
Maybe he knows something I don't, but to be able to pull something off like that, it would be a first, and it would be something huge for the business. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That was the part about it more than anything that intrigued me. I mean, he was realistic about his expectations of, I don't want to be a WWE or an AEW, something like that. I want to have a nice, independent style wrestling promotion. But the SAG thing, honestly, when I read it, I was wondering how come like no one else has ever thought of that? Because what has been one of the biggest problems people have complained about? We had Alex Riley on this show several months ago, right? And he was talking about unionizing wrestling, so there could be a union for benefits, right? AEW, a lot of the talk early on, I don't think any of it came to fruition, but some of the talk was we want to make sure the boys are employees and not contractors, right? Now that didn't, I don't think, pan out the way that they thought it was, but it was at least on the table. The independent contractor thing has always been brought up. As long as I've been listening to things about wrestling and been involved in it, I've always heard about the independent contractor thing. But if you make them actors or you call them actors hired to fulfill a role and they can get SAG benefits from that, join the union and get your SAG benefits, it's a great idea. I'm like you. I don't know how you do that. I don't know the ins and outs of the joining the union. I believe, are you a SAG member?
Yes, I am.
You are a SAG member. Now, I know there's like a certain amount of money or a certain amount of jobs you have to book or something, right? To get entry. Am I right?
To get in, you have to make a certain amount of money on a certain job that you get. Of course, to get insurance,
It has to be a union job.
to get insurance, you have to make a certain amount of money a year to actually be able to continuously be eligible for the insurance. But yeah, I'm a member of SAG, but I haven't made enough money this year to qualify for insurance through SAG, and I think that's what most people are looking for. So to put all of these guys under SAG membership, and for them to actually be able to make money, to be able to cover enough to actually be eligible to get that insurance. Yeah, it's one thing. It's like I say, it's a great thought. But my thing is this: how many wrestlers have come along in the world? Just give me a off number over the last, just say 30 years. How many wrestlers you think there have been?
Oh my gosh, in 30 years, thousands.
Yeah, thousands, among thousands, among thousands. Yeah. How many of them have gone to Hollywood?
A handful.
You damn right, because most wrestlers have been shunned from the world of Hollywood. It's been only a select chosen few that has been let into Hollywood to actually rise to a certain level, and that's no knock or anything. The ones that have gotten it done, pulled it off, like Macho Man Savage, man, I mean, he's gotten some big roles. Of course, The Rock, you know what I mean, John Cena now. Yeah, but I mean, big ups, but only as of late, Hollywood have been really, looking, to wrestlers to, take on certain roles, and there's only been a certain select few. That's why I'm wondering how this thing is going to work out, because I feel like if that was the case, there'd be a whole lot of other wrestlers in the world of Hollywood, before now.
Well, I think it's just changing I don't know. I don't know to answer your question, but I think it'd just be changing the classification. Is like, I'm not hiring you to be a wrestler. I'm hiring you to be an actor on this show. Right. And he says he has enough money to fund it for 3 years before it needs to turn a profit. And he said, if I have to keep doing acting roles to fund this and do Scooby-Doo Part 7, like, I'm going to do it. Right. I think he's already said he looked at a local arena that he's going to rent. He bought a lighting grid. Like, he's full. It sounds like he's full force, balls to the wall. I want storylines and compelling characters. And you know what? I mean, I think that as long as expectations about turning that profit are kept modest, right? Like, oh, I'm going to make $1 million in 3 years. Like, let's not think that.
Wait a minute. Take a step back for a second. Just rewind that for one moment. What did you say he had in his garage?
I didn't say garage. I said I think he bought a lighting grid and he's already rented out or found an arena that he wants to rent out. I commend it. I don't know. I don't know. I commend it.
Do you have the smoke machines?
That's so funny. That was like the first thing in that Heels show. Like, he's trying to spend like $1,500 on smoke machines.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's so much stuff you got to go and get. I mean, just to hear you say, he's got the lighting rig. Dude, what about the ring?
Baby steps.
What about the damn ring? You know what I mean?
Get there, Bob. But I mean, the thing is,
what about the wrestlers? You know what I mean? What
there aren't enough wrestlers out there to sign.
Okay, Okay, so it is enough wrestlers out there
Yeah.
that you can put under SAG and put on the show. Yeah, it's just what we do at Reality of Wrestling.
Right.
But for something like that, what do you what I'm just trying to figure out where we going here. What do we expect to get out?
I think it would be a show similar to, maybe a little bit, maybe I don't know, similar to like what I'm hearing about WoW, right? How it's more shot like a television show where the wrestlers portray characters and they have storylines revolving their character, right? More than just your average wrestling show. Different
So
from
it's got,
WWE.
so it's going to
Kind of
be
Lucha Undergroundy.
it's gonna, okay. It's going to be like a scripted wrestling show, or it's kind of like a sitcom, whatever. I'm not
He
sure.
said he wants it more storyline focused, right? Because that's where his passion is, writing stories.
Okay.
So I think with something like that, modest expectations, I think he could do it.
Okay.
To what level? I don't know. And again, I can't speak on the SAG stuff. I don't really understand how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a SAG union rep on the show to explain how that would happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how it's going to happen as well. I mean, I got to get Freddie Prinze on the show and
Let's
talk
get him
to him
on.
about this, because I've been doing this now, like I say, 30 years as far as in the business, and having my own promotion for
Right.
damn near 20, and I've been trying to figure something out like that for the longest. Maybe you can help me out. Maybe we can work together.
Hey, great. Look at that. Freddie,
what?
we already got an arena and lights and a ring.
We got a ring, we got lights, we got arena,
We got the wrestlers too.
we got everything you're looking for right here.
Turnkey.
So won't you just spend that money down here and forget about trying to do anything? We can use the investors. Okay, we can use it. Hey, we can create something here. And my motto at Reality of Wrestling is pretty much on that same guideline as far as it's a show, man. It's a show. And if you've seen any of my character as of late, man, I got to talk to you about this new stuff I just did. Oh, you're gonna see it on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I have lost my damn mind on the show. I mean,
Well, I hate to break it to you. That was well before this character. I hate to tell you.
Not like this, man. Not like this. Wait till you see this. It's gonna be some of the stupidest stuff you're ever gonna see in your life. But that's what wrestling is, guys.
Look, I real quick, I just commend anybody who's trying to get the boys and girls more work. Right? That's what we talked about the other day.
I do too, man. But I do too. But I just don't want to see the wrestling world flooded with just wrestling.
Just anything.
Just anything. All right. I mean, like I say, if Freddie Prinze want to, collaborate, give me a call, brother. Hit me in the DMs and we'll talk about it and get all of this all worked out. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Because Will all day. Whoa, look at that. These two know each other so well. Power just one from both ends. Look at that. The hop. And now, Dela Cruz. That's Carter. Crowd with her. Look at that cartwheel. That athleticism by Roxy is what we know her for. She is the prodigy for a reason. She rolls through and now connects. And another. Look at this. There we go. Immediately, we talked about chaos. Top. Let's go. Live. With the frog splash. 2, 3.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Like I said, I know we got a talk about some UFC. I know we got to talk about some boxing, but Brad said we got a plethora of super chats.
A cavalcade, if you will,
Cavalcade.
of super chats. Yes.
A bonanza.
Oh, look at that! A cornucopia, if you will. Here we go. We have Callie Toenail. Booker and I exchanging SAT words was not something that I had on my Hall of Fame bingo card today, but we started doing it. Callie Toenail says, "What's up, fellas? Did you hear Bad Bunny is about to be the first Latino superhero as El Muerto from the Spider-Man comic? He's a wrestler who gets his power from his mask. BT, I think you got this ball rolling."
Hey, man, hopefully I did, man. Hopefully I did. And, let the kid get his props because he loved the business. And, hey, man, this dude, he got a well-off organization going on, man. And he's pretty much in charge of everything. And to watch him do his work for me up close and personal was pretty cool. But to hear something like this, just think about, on the real, for a second, just think about this kid. I'm talking about when he was a kid, couldn't speak English, not probably having a whole lot. And then to come up to the point to where now he's about to be immortalized like that. That's got to be crazy. And I tell you, I can only say, man, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And then more importantly, like somebody told me when I got in this position, one day, that's the guy that helped me out. He said, man, just help somebody else when you get a chance. And I'm sure that dude got so many people that he's putting on. It ain't funny. So just keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, I saw this news a couple of days ago, and I didn't know a lot about the character. I didn't know he was a wrestler, but that's awesome. I saw Bad Bunny was on The View today. You know what I mean? He is crossed over, right?
Yeah.
If you're sitting at the table with Joy Behar or Whoopi Goldberg, you have crossed over into another level of mainstream.
Yeah.
And I think that what he did in WWE has been sensational. I hope he comes back and does more. What he's going to do in Marvel, sensational. He's winning Grammys. He's making albums, touring the world. I wish the man nothing but success. I think he's phenomenal talent. I think he's supremely talented, and hats off to him, man.
Yeah.
One time years ago, I was at this event with Bun B, right? And I was talking to Bun, and Bun said one of the greatest lines I've ever heard, right? He said, it doesn't matter how talented you are, because hard work trumps talent when talent don't work hard, right? Is what he told me.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, too.
And Bad Bunny has both. He's
100.
extremely talented, and he's a big hustler, and he works hard. So, like, whatever that dude gets, it's because of his hard work, and it's a testament to him that Marvel thought, hey, man, let's get this guy on a movie. We could sell some tickets.
Wait a minute. How many followers he got? I mean, how many?
Billion with a B?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get him on. I'm serious. Most definitely, man. Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
All the people in that Latin world, as far as the Latin music, crazy following. Like him and Becky G and Maluma and Nati Natasha. They got billions of views on YouTube. Like billions with a B.
Man.
So shout out to
hey, man, and it just so happened we was out in Vegas, for the Latin Grammys, and I tell you, man, the essays showed up, bro.
They did.
And I'm serious, man. In the chicas, man. I think that's it. Ain't the chicas. Oh my God. Yeah, man. It was.
I
it
feel.
I'm serious, man. So I was like, yeah, man. I'm loving being a part of this here. So yeah. I wonder if I had anything to do with that, man. But if I did, man, I'm humble. I'm humble because, like I said, Bad Bunny just opened up a whole different genre for me. And I mean, you just don't know how. I always say to stay relevant in this world sometimes is not to your own doings. I'm serious.
Right.
Sometimes people got people got to like you, man. You know what I mean? People got to like you if you plan on staying on top in this world. That's why I say the roads you travel up, you know what I mean? Don't make it a bumpy road because you might be going back down that same road and seeing some of those same people, man. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep,
What's the
keep
phrase? What's the phrase? The toes you step on the way up are connected to the same ass you're gonna have to kiss on the way down.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So be careful. We have another one here from Alex Cosentino. If WWE wanted you in the Royal Rumble and left it up to you, would you enter as King Booker T, GI Bro, or Cole?
You know what I would do? I like that. I like the thought process there.
Good question.
But I would do a fan poll and let the fans decide, which would they want to see most. Okay, and I think that would decide. That would make the decision for me. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people, really love the King Booker character, but I got so many fans that really love the wrestler Booker T in WCW. I was the wrestler, and I love those times because only thing I had to do was just go out and perform at just try to perform at a high level. I mean, I didn't have to get on the microphone until I won the world title. I won the television championship. Actually, I really didn't have to do a whole lot of talking. Me and my brother, we did a little bit of talking as Harlem Heat, but it was like sporadic talking a little bit. It wasn't anything sustained. It wasn't like an angle like talking. We just had to talk crap. That's different. You know what I mean? So, that time was different. But I think it would either be King Booker. Booker T, the wrestler,
I like it. I think it would be really dope though if you could come back. Like I know your dreads are too long to cut them, right? But like if you were able to come back with the high top fade and the mustache and the long tights. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now
forget about it, man. Forget about it, man. Hey, that ain't happening, man. It's like Sting with the flat top and the different color face paint.
Man.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen, man. And once I cut my hair, like I say, God got the clippers because it ain't coming. It ain't coming. He's trying to thin out a little bit on me right now. Like, what are you doing? I need you for 6 more years. Just 6. All I need is I can just get 6 more years out of you. I'll be good.
So you got a great beard, right? So if you ever had to go, you've got a great beard, right? So it would it'd still look awesome.
Well, I've been thinking about that. I'm thinking about that. I've been using a lot of different product for the beard as well. As of late, trying to let it grow a little bit longer. That's why I cut it so it can all grow back in form. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be all right. You know what, man? I embrace it. Getting older, when I lose it, bro. As long as when I wake up every morning, like I say, I'm still here. Good, man. We got more super chats, man.
Take
a break.
Here's another one from Mr. Philadelphia. Booker, I hope we get to see you soon on the Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was a terrible Austin impersonation.
Yeah, you know what, man? I would love to get on Broken Skull, but I tell you, we would have to really dive deep into certain issues if I was on Broken Skull, because everybody always talk about my hot takes and whatnot. Okay.
Right.
And I talk about the, certain things and I get those hot takes because damn it, I love wrestling. Okay. I've always loved it since I was a kid. Okay. Watching Paul Bosch, Houston wrestling on television, always talk about, the Hacksaw Jim Duggins and the Butch Reeds and the Mad Dog Buzz Sawyers of the world, the Ric Flairs when he would come through every now and then, the Tony Atlases, those guys, and then watching NWA when it was really, really hot at one point in time, Crockett Promotions, and those guys went out and did some really, really good work and they drew me in to the point to where it made me love it. And when I see wrestling these days, I need somebody like Stone Cold Steve Austin to talk to me about it and really if I'm wrong about something, make me understand. Or if we're on the same wavelength, let's explore and let's talk about this, because my thing all the time is about constructive criticism and letting the young guy that really want to know what it takes to make it to the next level. He's going to be listening. He's going to be listening, and that's the guy that's going to rise up out of the ashes every single time. So for me, I would love to get out there with Stone Cold Steve Austin and chop it up on the real, though, because that's the only way I give it. We got to take a break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You worth it.
13 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Home of the $55 any size, any color solar screen.
Well, what about arches?
$55.
What about circles?
$55.
What about rectangles?
$55.
Any size, any color, installed free. The King of Solar Screens, on time, every time.
Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We taking super chats. We trying to get to some UFC because it's going to be coming up this weekend, and that boy Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol going to be stepping inside the squared circle this weekend live on DAZN as well. So we got to talk about that. But I know we still got a few super chats. So Bradley, what do we got?
We do. We're going to be wrapping up this first hour here with this. DJ1491 was watching Young Rock last night and wondering if we're going to see a young Booker next season. Montez Ford could pull it off, I think.
Damn it, you better see a young Booker T on there.
I think they had H. Austin, and I think Mankind. I think.
Yeah, I saw Colt Cabana is going to be playing the Brooklyn Brawler. That was pretty cool.
Great cast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, he looked just like him, man. I swear, as soon as I saw it, I started laughing so hard. I thought it was Brawler for a second. And then I saw it was Colt Cabana. So, heck yeah, man.
I think Luke Hawks may have played the ringmaster, Steve Austin, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the show. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man. Yeah, man. It's cool. The Rock giving the boys a rub, you know, especially those old timers back in the day. The guys, you know, sometimes forget about, like the Iron Sheik. You know, that's pretty cool, man. That's what's so retro about that show, man. It takes you back to that moment and make you go, wow, man. I remember this. You know, so that's what's really cool. Charmel loves that show, man. So yeah, big ups to the Rock.
Yeah, I've seen the whole first season. I haven't dived in on the second season. With that show, I like to let the season, you know, go over and then watch them all, you know, like binge them. Yeah, it's easier for me to do, or else I'm going to lose track of it. So I'm looking forward to it.
You know what? What I'm going to do is when I get my RV back and I'm head to the beach, I think I'm going to binge watch, you know, Young Rock, just to get off into it.
And, you know, by the way, happy belated to the man himself. The Rock turned 50 on Monday, I believe. So happy belated birthday to The Rock.
Yeah, definitely. Happy birthday to The Rock.
There we go. Alex Cosentino, in your wrestling career, physique-wise, how did you decide when to stop gaining size and focus more on maintaining? Is it a fine line?
I tell you, when I couldn't catch up with my brothers, when I realized just focus on what you got. My brother was close to 300 pounds. And man, I used to try my best to, you know, gain weight and, you know, get big like that. And, I just could not do it. My body just would not take more than 230 pounds, 235, 238 maybe, was like my heaviest. And I just realized, you know, this is it. This is all God gave me. even still to this day. And I said, just work with what you got. It's not a bodybuilding contest. All you got to do is look like you're in really good shape. I'll just look like you're in good shape, and that might, get you through. And for me, I say, let's work on that and work on my wrestling and my psychology. Let's be better in those departments, because I'm not going to get bigger than these guys. It's just not going to happen. So I think when you just realize, this is what God gave you, and let's figure out how to make it work. I think that's when it's time.
I've actually heard some other the boys talk about that, like, because you don't want to get too big, right? Because then it limits, especially if like you're athletic like you, right? If you were your brother's size, all the things like the Harlem Hangover, cut that out. Sidekick, cut that out. I don't know. You're not gonna be able to do that 300 pounds. So there's a lot in the spinneroonie. I don't know. Maybe
it would look a lot different.
It'd look a little slower.
Yeah, it would look a lot different.
It wouldn't have the same pop. So, the weight that worked for you.
Yeah. I just, like I say, I just tried to figure out, this is what I got. Let's work on it. And, I thought I looked good. I thought I could compare with anybody that was standing across from me. And that's the measuring stick right there. You go, man, do I measure up with these guys? And if you pass that test right there, I think, you're good to go.
I learned how people pose in pictures too from Booker. Like, I remember one time we were at the radio station, the old station, and Dwight Howard came in. I don't know if you remember this. Dwight's got some big shoulders, man, like huge shoulders, right? And we took a couple photos with him. And I wasn't looking at Booker Dwight. I was just making sure I was smiling in the picture. I look at the pictures, Book's like got his shoulders like spread out. You know what I mean? And he's like holding his arms at his side, like kind of like this. And I saw the pictures. And then when we posted them, everyone was like, man, Book's looking jacked. He's bigger than Dwight. Man, what is he on? Let me get some of that.
Like, man, you smoking mirrors, man. When the cameras get ready, you suck it up. You get tight. Everything you tight. That's a camera move. And if you got somebody bigger than you, you want to take a half a step in front of them.
Well, can you tell me? This is my favorite story you've ever told. Can you tell me who you learned that from?
Oh man, I learned that in a pro, actually doing a photo shoot back in WCW, and it was back when the War Games deal. Me and Sid Vicious, my brother, and Big Van Vader, and Big Van Vader I was standing next to Vader, and Vader would take like a half a step in front of me. And I'm like, I'll take a half a step up. And he goes, no, brother, just stay right there. And I'm like, what's going on? He goes, it's business, brother. He had to keep the gimmick going. A half a step in front of me made him look that much bigger than I was. Like, I'm using that one right there. I respected him, and I stayed right there smiling.
Hell yeah.
But that's why I learned that from Big Van Vader. You take a half a step, you're gonna look that much bigger. And it's business, brother. Nothing personal.
That's a t-shirt. It's business, brother. That's a t-shirt right there. We got to get that one made. The last one we got right now is from Aaron C. Do y'all think Roman will hold both titles until next Mania, maybe versus The Rock? I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Didn't we think that there's a chance that Cody takes him before that, if Cody's the guy?
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about Cody may be able to slip in there, and then somehow it may be able to flip back, before WrestleMania, and then we can still do The Rock. But of course, right now, with Cody Rhodes coming back saying the title, that my dad didn't win, it seemed like we were going to be going that route or doing something, along that route. So I don't know. I don't know. But I would not be surprised. I'll tell you right now. I know Cody, what he wants, but I would not be surprised if Roman had the title for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Card subject to change.
Always. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either. I mean, Roman's doing such a great job with it. I mean, sometimes it's hard, but eventually he's got to lose to somebody. And he's not going to lose to The Rock.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not
maybe.
I'm not looking. I'm not booking the show. The Rock could come in and win the title. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay. We have a calendar filled of events obviously coming up. I want to get one more plug in there for Reality Wrestling this Saturday on CW39. If you're listening on ESPN 975, that's where you can check that out. I just want to make sure we get a nice little plug of Ruski and book, because I know we want to talk about UFC. We have WrestleMania Backlash this weekend.
You know what, man? You know what? We just don't. You know what? We need more time. That's what we need. We need more time. That's what we need.
Pick it up tomorrow, I guess.
Exactly. That's my thing right there. Because we definitely got to talk about Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol, as well as that main event for UFC 274. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. That right there is going to be a barn burner. Somebody's going to get hurt. All right. Somebody's going to get hurt. Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. Oh, my goodness. Man, this could be either the beginning or the end. I'm talking about the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat for Tony Ferguson. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be in town. I know I got to be out of town on Sunday for WWE WrestleMania Backlash. But Saturday night, I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be wired in to some UFC. I'm going to be wired into some boxing, because right now, Canelo Alvarez, the boy is bad. And we got to talk about his one flaw. And we just ain't got enough time to talk about it right now. That's what's ticking me off. So Mr. Todd, we may have to talk. I ain't gonna even throw his last name out there, because people might be listening. All right.
I thought you were gonna say, because you don't know how to say it.
No, I know how to say it. But you know who I'm talking about. We got to get out of here, man. We got to get out of here, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
On the indies for a couple of years, and for me, I could not take that experience back for anything. I mean, learning how to wrestle in front of 6 people and trying to draw emotion out of people who maybe just by happenstance came across the show, but to work with conditions where the ropes some are too tight, some are too loose, some of the rings had big dips in it, trying not to trip over the canvas, and just having that experience of working in all these different, every ring was different at every indie show that I did, and so to know that I have to put on a good show regardless of the circumstances, even if the ring doesn't show up and I have to wrestle on a gymnasium floor, hoping for the best, it really helped shape my ability to be able to think on the fly and made me who I am today.
What's up, this Booker T, 2-time Hall of Famer. I know you're checking out the Shine, checking out the Gloss. I want to thank you guys for checking out Row on YouTube. Hey, don't forget to click and subscribe to check out all the latest content right here each and every week. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, as well as always hanging out with my man, the boat, Brad Gilmore. Hey, man, and we got a whole lot to talk about, man. We got a whole lot to talk about as far as what's going on in the world of wrestling, as well as UFC 274, as well as Dimitri Bivol is going to try to unseat the man, Canelo Alvarez, and become the kingpin of that division. So, hey, man, Brad, how you feel, first of all, man? How you feeling right now? You looking good? You looking good?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great, Bo. I'm feeling great. There's all kinds of great stuff happening this weekend. Again,
exactly.
Reality Wrestling, CW39, boom, happening on Saturday. We got UFC 274. We got WrestleMania Backlash. We got Canelo. It's a combat sports weekend, and it's Mother's Day this weekend. by the way.
What, that's the good part right there. That's the good part. And like they said in the, can't remember the name of that movie, but the brother said, "Let's get right down to it." That's what I'm talking about. Hey man, I gotta talk about Alvarez versus Bivol first and foremost.
Let's talk about it.
We got to talk about that right there because a lot of people weigh in on the conversation. As far as do Booker T know what he's talking about as far as these fights go? I think I do. And I've been following this kid, Canelo Alvarez, for quite some time. And I look at his record, man, and that's Canelo Alvarez. He got a record like one of these old school fighters from like back in the 60s, 57-1. It was crazy. That's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. And what's crazy is you can only imagine how many amateur fights he had. Okay, so this dude's been fighting. This dude's been fighting his whole life, and the kids that he's going to be taking on this weekend, take nothing away from him. Dimitri Bivol, 19-0, 11 by KO. But the one thing that's notable on this kid's resume is just two names for me. I went back and looked at all 19 of them, and it's Joe Smith Jr. and John Pascal. Those two names, not bad fighters, but Joe Smith is a guy who's, he's rugged, but he's A+ fighter or anything like that by any means. And then you got a guy like John Pascal who's well past his better days. Okay. And those really are the only two names I see on his record that, that impressed me. And then it impressed me that he got through the fights, but it was unanimous decision, not by knockout or anything like that. Then you got this matador, El Gran Campeon. Canelo Alvarez, like I say, 57-1. And the thing is, Bivol undefeated, but I just want to look at some of the names. Alvarez, guys that were unbeaten before fighting Canelo. In 2013, Austin No Doubt Trout. 2016, Liam Smith. 2018, Triple G. 2020, Callum Smith. 2021, Billy Joe Saunders. And as of late, a guy who I actually picked. I actually thought he had the sweet hands to actually go out and beat Canelo Alvarez, and that was Callum Sweet Hands Plant. All those guys had undefeated records, and there were many, many more that has fought Canelo Alvarez and come up short. The only one guy that has put that L on the record, and that was, we all know who that is. Floyd Mayweather. And I said this. I said Floyd Mayweather, it was very, very calculating when he caught Canelo Alvarez. He said, man, I got to get this kid while he's young and inexperienced enough to where I think I can go out there and still school him. And that's exactly what happened. I always wondered what would have happened in the Canelo Mayweather 2. Now, this fight right here, this kid Bivol, he may be good, but I really feel like he's going to go out and get the schooling of a lifetime. I could be wrong, but the odds right now, Canelo Alvarez, I think -120. I think Bivol +250, something like that. I'm not just going off the numbers or anything like that. I'm just saying Canelo Alvarez is a fighter that's fighting on another level, and until he fight one of these brothers like Terrence Crawford, I'm riding with him all the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so impressive in every fight that he's ever had. Sans the Mayweather fight, but again, he got him when he was young. The Triple G fights, I think, are still big question marks for me. Like,
it's a couple of them.
That's a question mark.
The Arislandy Lara fight, as well as the Austin Trout fight, Both of those guys were questionable. Both of those fights were questionable. So, I say he's had times where things wasn't, clicking 100%, but I don't think Canelo Alvarez has ever been in a fight where it was so one-sided to where you can say, oh, he lost it. You know what I mean? It was always, I don't know, but let's call this one a draw.
I don't know about that one. They both did the same thing. I draw. Yeah, Triple G, you lost. What was so messed up about those Triple G fights is I think Triple G won the first one, and I think they drew on the second one. But the way they scored it is they drew on the first one, and he lost on the second one. But hey, it happens. It's boxing. I get it, right? And I wish there was a better way to score fights. I know there isn't, but I wish that there were. Because it's so subjective. It's so subjective. Like, I remember going to UFC for a second, like John Jones and Dominic Reyes, like we all had that like 4-1, maybe 3-2. And then John Jones wins it unanimous. It's like, wait, what fights were y'all watching? So I just wish there was more of a, I don't know. They use the CompuBox stuff, right? Like, can we have more of a mathematical, scientific way of scoring the fight?
Yeah.
Winners.
It's definitely you wish you had the like where you could see the tennis ball go over the line. You actually you know what I mean? you actually see the punch land. But that's very, very difficult in a fight. I think the Martha's of Queensberry rules have been in effect for many, many years, and I think we should keep it that way. I don't think we should change that ever to where a machine or something like that start dictating the winner and loser. But I do think we need to get better judges. I do think we need to get more fair judges, because when you're watching a fight and you actually see the guy lose and the one judge have it a landslide the other way, you obviously think the obvious, man, this guy got paid. He got paid to do that. That's the only conclusion.
I've seen it happen.
That's the only conclusion. And that when that happens, it definitely rubs you the wrong way and put a bad taste in your mouth to where you want to say, man, I don't know if I want to watch this or not ever again into the next fight.
Until the next time it's on. I mean, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate that stuff happens. But it's kind of the game that we play. What I find interesting, though, is some of these states, their athletic commissions have rules from decades ago. Like like I know in Louisiana, for instance, they judge, MMA fights based on boxing rules. They're making professional wrestlers follow boxing protocols prior to having a fight, a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Like, we got to update some of these commissions. That's really how you're going to fix it. You can't universally do it.
Commission ain't finna update nothing. You know why? All they want is their check.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the commissioners want, man. They want to make sure you do everything properly, as far as signature being totally right in the numbers. That's it. Anything else, you know what I mean? They're gonna tell you what to do as well. Because
hell yeah,
commissioners, man, they just want to be bosses, man. They want to make sure they keep that authority righteous, like, man. And I know one of the commissioners down in Louisiana, and he always tell me, when you want to come down here and do the show, you just let me know. I get everything taken care of for you. I'm like, all right, you're gonna be the first one I call. What?
Here's my favorite thing, though, about Louisiana and the Commission for Professional Wrestling. You have to pay for an ambulance to be there, right?
Yeah.
But if one of the boys gets hurt, the ambulance can't take you because they got to stay for the whole show in case somebody gets hurt. You got to get a different ambulance to take you to the
or you got to just wait till the end of the show and go without. We take everybody at one time.
They'll get one trip, all right?
Oh my God, we gotta take a break, man. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a
minute. My name is Dan Miller, and I'm trained to be a professional wrestler here at Reality of Wrestling. Professional wrestling has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I would have the toys, I would have matches with stuffed animals, I had a little paper championship. I always had that voice in the back of my head saying, can you do this? Can you really be a pro wrestler? And one day that voice got so loud, I just had to know. So I did my research, and I found that Reality of Wrestling is the best training ground in the whole country. You could sit down and turn on the TV every night of the week to watch pro wrestling, and you'll see someone who got their start in this ring. Reality of Wrestling teaches you everything you need to know about the business, from putting together the ring to putting together a TV show. This is a place where you can come and work on your fundamentals, work on your body, work on your interview skills. This is a one-stop shop for everything pro wrestling. If you have that voice in the back of your head, now is the time to find out if you have what it takes here at Reality of Wrestling.
Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Hope y'all feeling good out there, man. We definitely appreciate you guys stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. We having some fun, man. We just having some fun talking a little bit of, Canelo Alvarez going against that kid B-Ball. But of course, we got UFC 274 stepping up this week as well. We got any more super chats before we get moving?
We do. We have a couple here. Some are boxing related. So let's get to the wrestling one real quick. Hey, Book, a favorite wrestler to work with. I think we've talked about this on the show a few
times. Christian. I always said Christian was my guy to actually go out and really have some fun with. We had a lot of fun, man. That U.S. Title run in the WWE. No, the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. The Continental Championship. I think that was my only run with the title too, and it was only a short run. But working with Christian was one of those things to where you could be not feeling good, tired, and you get in the ring and that dude start just doing some of the stupid stuff to where you was gonna laugh, you gonna have some fun. That's why house shows. Him and I used to have the most fun house shows. Had a great time working with Christian. Rey Mysterio was a guy who I really loved performing with as well. I didn't have a whole lot of matches with Rey, but the couple of times we got in the ring, it just seemed like chemistry was like just there. We didn't have to think at all. It was just like being on like autopilot, and like this dance group I used to have back in the day called the Remote Controls. That's the way we were, man. So yeah, man, it was I know my wife probably gonna chime in a minute because she don't believe I had a group called the Remote Controls, and what was so innovative about that group was the name, because the remote control that just came out, and people had to change the television like this, and then the remote control came out. I was like, man, that'll be a cool name for a dance group. And so give me your opinion, guys out there. Do you guys think the Remote Controls is a cool dance group name?
You know what? For the time, I think it was probably hot back in the day. I think it was probably the stuff.
It was before its time, man. I'm gonna tell you, it was. That's why I think I gravitated to the wrestling business. Because just say, for instance, the remote controls, man, of course it was something kind of unique for its time, but back then I remember we had this dance contest at this place called the Phase 4, and it was me, my homie Wendell, Michael Johnson, and Lonnie Brown, and we all got these outfits, right? To where we had these white shoes on, right? With these glitter socks. And then the suit that we wore was, these suits that you get that you want to lose weight in, they look plastic and they look silver.
Yeah.
Run with them and you lose weight. And we put those suits on that night for this contest, and they had the trip light going, and it looked like we was like on the moon. you know, and man, the remote controls came out. It just stole the show, man. Just took that $125. We had to split it 4 ways, but it was a hell of a night for the remote controls, man. Great night, man. I just wanted to put that story out there.
Look at that. Yeah, we got another super chat. Yeah, you know, that was a I was trying to remember what was the interview. I heard some interview. I think it was a rapper was talking, and they talked about like record sales from Nirvana or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, they sold 4 million albums, but those dummies got to split it 5 ways." You know, I only got me. You know what I mean? So 2 million. I'm really winning here. This is from AMG said, "Who you picking in Spence versus Crawford?"
Man, Spence Crawford, man. God, man, you know, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's such a hard pick right there, man. That's such a hard pick. Because Terrence Crawford, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. But the one thing that I've noticed about Errol Spence Jr. is he's willing to be the bigger dog in the fight. You know, and I say that you know, just because everybody that he's fought, he's willing to step right into your zone, and you know, whether you want to go toe to toe, whether you're gonna, you know, want to bully fight him, you know, whether you want to box, no matter what you try to pull off against Errol Spence, he will go out there and figure out how to do it better than you. So I gotta pick Errol Spence in that fight, man. That dude is good, man, and he proved it here in his last fight. That dude is good because Ugas is a good fighter. But I said that fight was going to go one way, and I don't know if I wish we had a tape recorder where we could go back and listen to exactly the way I said that fight was going to go. I said Errol Spence is going to win that fight. I said Ugas, he's not going to quit. It's not going to be a knockout. I said Errol Spence is going to have to separate him from his senses. And that's exactly what happened in that fight. He broke him down round by round to the point that he could not even see out of one eye. So yeah, I think Errol Spence, I think he would win that fight.
He's hard to bet against. As much as I love Crawford, and I think Crawford's a quality fighter, just about as good as you could find nowadays, right? I mean, you look at the people that he's gone up against and how much he's shown up and showed out, but I just feel like Errol Spence is operating on a different level. You know, I really do, and it's hard for me to bet against him. We got
and I say that. I mean, before you move, and I say that because when he fought Sean Porter, when Errol Spence fought Sean Porter.
Oh yeah, in Los Angeles.
And I'm gonna tell you, Sean Porter is a dog. He went out there and bullied Sean Porter to the point to where that was the beginning of the downfall, perhaps, of Sean Porter, the fight with Errol Spence. Let's move on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. We got Punch Drunk Boxing said Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, one of the most historic fights ever. Never heard MSG louder. Surpassed Nick and Rangers playoff games in WWE pop. Amazing.
You know, man, I heard about that, man. I didn't get a chance to see that fight. I'm not going to sit here in front or anything like that, but so many people have been talking to me about that fight. I was even asked, you know, about that fight, you know, my opinion as far as who was going to win, you know, so it was definitely a fight that's highly touted. I tell you what, I'm getting on YouTube tonight and I'm going to find it because that's definitely a fight that everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, and I think, if I have it right, I think WWE had something to do with the promotion of it.
I think so. I think they did, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw a lot about it. I saw our boy Peter Rosenberg was there, and he touted how loud it was. So definitely. Well, let's take one more before we have to go to break. Aaron C. again says, do y'all see Sifa Fatu joining the bloodline?
You know what? I'm not going to sit here and say I'd be surprised, if I saw something like that, but I would not want to just start adding members to the bloodline. Okay, it ain't broke,
right?
So I was reading. I think Naomi was considering. I think they were considering putting her in the bloodline at one point. And you go, okay, well, what that do for the bloodline? What is that going to bring to the bloodline? You know what I mean? It's just going to add another element. Is it an element that we need? That's the question. So I don't know. I do know this. There's enough Samoans out there to where if Roman Reigns in the bloodline, the family was to find themselves in a predicament, to be able to insert certain factors at certain times, I could tell you this wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
So I could see him making a rival in some aspect. I just think it's got to be right.
Set up right now. I like how it's set up. We got the Usos, we got Roman, we got Paul Heyman. Like, I like this. You know what I mean? And then, like you said, it's not broke.
Like I said, if something was to happen and we needed to shift gears, yeah. But if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I agree. And they got a big match coming up this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. Still something that we should talk about if we have time. And we have one more super chat to get to. I don't think we can do it before the break.
Gotta take a break, man. We gotta take a break, man. We gotta stick to protocol. Hey guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
A little bit, but I think the match that everyone kind of saw me at my I got the right exposure, I guess, is when I faced Ricochet in Japan for the Best of Super Juniors. And I think a lot of people saw that match and was like, all right, well, this is what Will does. He's a flippy guy. But I saw the constructive criticism that everyone would say, and I would go, hang on, no, they've got a point. They have got a point. We could have done some stuff different. We could have done this, that, and that different. And then I got in the ring with a guy called Shibata. And in New Japan, like, he was like top, like, do you know what I mean? He's like he was one of the new generation Three Musketeers. And I would be like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And he looked me dead in the eyes. Like, he just looks at me, he goes, no. Mate, I'm so scared. And he didn't, honestly, he didn't tell me a single thing of what we were going to do until I got in the ring. Yeah. And I was so scared.
Can you dig it, sucker? Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champion, along with my man Brad Gilmore. And we giving it to you guys, giving you your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. We got any more super chats, Brad? Do we got any more super chats?
We do. Roland Curtis with the $20. Appreciate you, Roland.
Appreciate you, Roland.
Shunned by Hollywood. I thought about this months ago when I heard that Ric Flair and Hogan didn't have stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Why is pro wrestling shunned by both pro sports and pro theater, TV, drama, motion pictures? I think it was at one point. I think that is changing. Like, especially you talk about Young Rock, talk about heels. Yeah, you talk about all the wrestling shows on television, the stars from wrestling in movies and TV. I don't know. I think that's changed. I do.
It's changed. It's changed as of late, and you got to give WWE a whole lot of credit for making something like that happen. Yes. Say, for instance, I remember when the coach was talking about, he was pissed off because he didn't get enough credit because he's the one who brought WWE to ESPN.
Wait, he didn't say that.
Yeah, he did.
Tell me. He didn't say that.
No, but the thing is, he may have had some influence because he was working for ESPN back then. And then next thing you know, the WWE's name was mentioned on, sports, networks like ESPN, in which that right there was like Sherry Martell with the Harlem Heat. That was a legitimizer right there. That was letting the world know, hey man, we letting you in. It's like that was like when I got into WWE and the Undertaker invited me into the TV locker room. Yeah, I was coming up. You know what I mean? So that's the way. Yeah, exactly. So that's the way I look at that right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's changed a whole lot. And you know what? I think also shows like like Total Divas, right? Bringing a whole new audience to wrestling. The Rock, obviously, John Cena, obviously, Batista, everybody who's done something outside and brought more attention, Bad Bunny and you, right? Like changing how people look at it.
It took years. It's just like when I first got in the wrestling business, and it used to be a thing where wrestling shows, independent wrestling shows, used to be able to go into high schools and do shows and whatnot. And then, the boys would go in there and they would do their shows. And back then, those guys, they were like Wild Wild West. They would bleed and do all kind of stuff. So they literally got ran out of the school district, to where the school district did not want to see another wrestling show ever in the world. And I went and did one at my old junior high school. And, they finally let us in, but it was so hard to actually get in anywhere else in Harris County because they were just opposed to professional wrestling. And like you say, it's changed now in a lot of places, but like you say, Hogan don't have a star, Ric Flair, whoever, the guys don't have a star on the Walk of Fame because, we're not SAG. Okay. And it's always been that way. And that's why I question, the Freddie Prinze idea, and we'll see how it work out. But I'm just wondering how.
Yeah, and again, I just don't know a lot about that process. AMG2, did Rhea, Becky, and Sonya look good together, or was it just me?
I'm gonna tell you right now, all three of them easy on the eyes.
For sure.
I think the trio look. You know what? I like. You know what? When they all come out and they do the thing, but I'm not a big fan of the women, banding together and going out, and I want to see everybody. I want to see chaos. I'm serious. I want to see everybody wanting to come up, everybody wanting the spotlight, everybody, want to get their piece of the action. And when that happens, we were just talking about how competition make everybody run faster.
Right.
And I feel like that could happen. Especially, like I said, I look at Rhea Ripley. She definitely got something. Becky Lynch is, flipped the script. Look now, she looks totally different, which in wrestling, I always say, if you don't know how to keep up with the times, the times will pass you by. And to watch Becky know how to morph into something different. I watch Bianca Belair right now, who has really stepped up her game to where she's working on another level now. Championship make you better. So, I like when the ladies, come out together, but I'm not a big fan of it. I want to see more. I want to see more chaos. Damn it, what I mean.
I agree. I agree. Not even specifically just with the women. Like, I'm not a huge faction fan in general. Like, I think you could have maybe one, per show, but like nothing more than three guys, right? Like the Shield was great. Bloodline. We were just talking about the Bloodline, right? That's a good faction. I don't like when everybody, like you said, everybody's on a team. You got five guys in this group. You got five guys in this group. You got five guys in this group.
What damn it is it? What are you saying? What are you talking about?
What are you saying? I'm just saying I'm not a big faction fan. Like, no more.
Were you talking about any certain groups?
No, just in general.
Company?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, AEW does it a lot right now.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. The thing is, I wanted to make
anyone saying that.
No, the thing is, I wanted to make sure you said it, so when the clip come out on one of these sites, it's gonna be you instead of me this time.
But no, they're still gonna use you. It's gonna say Booker T's radio show says. You're gonna get got some kind of way.
They're gonna say Brad Gilmore said, I need you to start getting your recognition too.
I know I need a little heat. Like I can take it. No, but you know what? Like even going back to WWF, there was a time where there was like the DOA, like the Disciples of Apocalypse, and then there was like I think they called them the Baricuas, and there was like a group of all the Puerto Rican guys on the roster. Then there was this group. There's DX. There was the Nation of Domination. You had like 6 or 7 groups.
Yeah.
The Job Squad, the Corporation, the Union, the Ministry. I didn't need all that. Like, give me one really good group, maybe one.
You know what? I get it. I understand it because sometimes you got a lot of guys, that aren't playing roles, and you say, let's put them in a
throw them all
faction.
together. Yeah,
throw them together. That way we can get them all some work. They can grow in the show together. We'll be able to peel certain ones off, after a period of time. It's just like the Nation of Domination. You saw what happened with that thing. It formed. No, it formed. You know what I mean? But the Rock spilled out. And then the tag team, spilled out, and then the thing, was dissolved. So, but all of those guys went on to do, pretty good stuff. And characters, like Godfather came out of it. So, my thing is, that kind of stuff is a necessary evil in professional wrestling, especially when you got a lot of guys under contract on the roster. And I'm speaking from with my promoter's hat on right now. So I'm just wanting everybody out there to understand why that actually happens.
And I understand. Trust me, especially if you look at some of the great factions of all time, even if that's going to DX, like everybody from DX was elevated. Everybody from Evolution was elevated. Everybody, well, not everybody from the NWO, but there were like some guys who came out of the NWO, like bigger stars than they were as a solo act, right? Giant, right? Big Show.
Come on,
right?
man.
Big Show.
Put Big Show to the side. He would have been. Big Show was going to be big whether he came out of the NWO or not. Give me one other guy that went in the NWO and came out a bigger star. One guy, other than Hogan, Hall, and Nash. One guy.
Yeah, I can't think of one. I mean, Pac, but he was 1, 2, 3 kid already.
He was a star already. Yeah. So give me any other guys.
I really am. I'm having trouble. Like when you thought about all the auxiliary members who joined. Conan. You know what though? Conan, when he was with the Wolfpack, right, and they came out to that, that Wolfpack theme, and they had the red, and he was rowdy, and bowdy, right. I actually do think that elevated him.
Yo. When he used to do that right there.
Yeah. I like that.
I just like when he used to do that. Yeah.
Maybe Conan.
No. Conan was the biggest star before that, man.
He was a big star before them, but that may have elevated him.
Conan, I don't think it elevated him at all. Conan was
he got the rub of being next to Sting and
Conan.
Ash.
Look at Conan was a made man already, man. Trust me, he was a made man already, man. Conan was like a god. When he was wrestling at that time, even though WCW didn't give him that kind of a rub and that kind of a push, but coming from Mexico, that dude, Conan,
Mexico, he was the guy.
Conan was like Hogan, you know what I mean? So I think he was already a made man. So I really wouldn't say that elevated him at all. I think he was already a made man before he got.
So then, to answer your question, other than the original 3, nobody.
You can't answer. You can't give me one guy. So yeah, that's what I was saying. So yeah. That faction right there, you gotta put that one to the side. We gotta take a break, guys. We gotta take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that when Tough Enough happened, it was also during kind of a rise of the women's movement in wrestling. And then the Evolution pay-per-view came by, which Booker and I have been campaigning for an Evolution 2 because it was the best show of that year, we thought. But now seeing AEW really put a big emphasis on their women's roster, you saw kind of the rise of a Britt Baker. What do you think about the talent that they have over there as far as the women go?
Yeah, I think they're finally starting to add and strengthen that roster because for a while, and this tends to happen a lot, right? If something catches fire, you go with it, but then it ends up being a one-person show. So it was like the Britt Baker show for quite a bit there, and then now they're like, oh wait, we can't just like throw Nyla to the wayside after we use that. We've got, we can't throw, like Ruby, you've got to like build everybody up and kind of keep it going. So watching them kind of have some life on the women's side of things, because the men was so hot and they've, you know, like everybody you could think of, but the women was really lacking. And so to see them kind of putting some more emphasis on that, and you know, I mean, I remember seeing the hardcore match with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, and that really like putting the women's division on the map over there.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Before we move any further, man, just want to let everybody know, CW39, Reality of Wrestling. You know, I got a small little company, guys. A small little company. It's called Reality of Wrestling. All right, we were school was founded back in 2005. The show has been running strong for the past few years, and we are so proud to be back inside the city limits, man. You know, CW39, the home of the man, who definitely is the godfather of professional wrestling here in Houston, Texas. Sam Houston Coliseum right downtown. Sold tickets for many, many years, 1919 Caroline Drive. Guys, check out your Reality of Wrestling and support it if you get a chance, more so than anything, because keeping wrestling alive in the city of Houston is something that's near and dear to my heart. And to the end, I'm gonna keep it rolling. And then one day somebody's gonna take my spot. Kevin Bernhardt, he told me a long time ago, he said, "Book, one day, you know, all I want you to do is just be able to sit at home, you know, not have to do anything, you know, and I'm going to take care of the school and run it." That's all I do these days. So I appreciate you, Kevin Bernhardt, for representing Reality of Wrestling, man, and the school since day one, 18 years, since day one. Appreciate you, kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin works so hard, man, all the time. Let's get to these last super chats. This is our last segment, so let's get through these real quick, and then we'll talk a little UFC here at the end.
We got to, man.
Do that? Okay. Well, the NWO was great. They packed arenas. They did pack arenas, book, but I agree. You know, we didn't.
Oh, look here. I love being on the ride. The NWO experiment, man. Experience, actually. I say it all the time. You know, being a young guy at that time, it was the best time you could ever want to be in this business. The arenas were packed out every week. I'm talking about every week was like a WrestleMania like show. Every week was like a pay-per-view. It was nothing that was 20,000 people would be in the arena every week or more, 30,000. And I'm like, man, it don't get no better than this. So for me, I appreciate the NWO for putting me in that position to, you know, show what I had. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I benefited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, they're the NWO, one of the biggest factions in the history of the company, or in history of the industry. YNG Bid 44, H-Town, hold it down, book.
Already, dog. Already, that's what I do, man. This is my city. This is my city. And it was crazy. I love the city, man. I give Top Golf right here off 45, Nassau Road 1 area. Get them boys a shout out. I stopped by Top Golf after the show last Saturday night, and I just walked in, man. I'm gonna tell you, bro. You walk in Top Golf, it's sold out. It's sold out. But they took care of the brother. They took care of the brother in about 5 minutes. And had me hooked up in a premium spot right there, you know, in the middle of the bay, hitting golf balls, drinking a cocktail. So I appreciate you guys down there. I love my city, man. I love my city. But go ahead.
Love it, love it, love it. We got Kelly Tonio. My good tea has been shipped. We got to get a boat back in time, 007 now. So, BT, did you bring back Cooker Tea last weekend and record it? We still gonna get in that kitchen for that one-on-one? # braised ribs.
Man, oh, shucky ducky, quack, quack. I did get in the kitchen, but I got caught up. Look here, when you got a puppy and twins, especially a son that's 11 years old that wears a size 12 shoe. You get caught up sometimes. You get, it's like cards subject to change. Push that back a little bit. But definitely I do plan on getting in the kitchen and making the braids real. But I must confess as well. I must confess. You know what? Right hand to God. Right hand to God. My oven broke down.
Oh.
My oven broke down. The top oven broke down, and we started using the bottom, and then now the bottom just stopped working. And we on that plan though, you know what I mean? Like you see on the commercial where they just come out, take care of everything. They're gonna give us a new oven. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah.
Brand new. All we gotta do is pick it out. Just because the one that we have is so old, they don't even have the parts for it anymore. So we're good, man. Yeah.
Straight on that one. And our final super chat, which will get us to this conversation we want to have. Do y'all see my hometown boy, Nate Diaz, Mr. 209, Stockton fighting again? Yeah, I see that's a rumor out there that Nate's going to get back in there. But, I never know with the Diaz brothers.
Well, the thing is, who's he going to fight? Who's he going to fight?
Let me look that up because I saw it today.
Is he thinking about fighting Dustin Poirier? Is that the fight that we're thinking about? If I'm not mistaken, I heard something about him and Dustin Poirier. If I'm not mistaken,
I'm trying to find
it's the fight right there.
No, it looks like Nate Diaz and Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh my God, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good at all. Khamzat Chimaev, he's young, he's hungry, he's like a no bread, no water, just meat type of guy right now. Even though coming off of his last fight, people are going to be judging him versus Gilbert Burns. Okay, but people better understand something. Gilbert Burns is a tough son of a gun. Okay, you ain't just gonna go in there and walk through him. And Chimaev, he realized that, but it didn't stop him one bit. It didn't literally deter him one moment in that fight, because that's where he is in his career right now. And that's the most dangerous part about Chimaev right now. And for Nate Diaz to even want a piece of that, maybe he just said, man, let me get one last paycheck and get the hell out of here. Because that's the only thing it could be. As well as if the UFC said come back, they say, hey, man, we got to fight for you, but this is it. If you want to come back, what do you want?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. When I've heard people, turning down money as of late when they find themselves in a position, when they need that money, and whatever they get offered, they're going to jump on it. You know what I mean? Because what Daddy Rich say, it's better to have money and not to need it than need it not to have it.
I like that. I heard that one. I
like that one, huh? That's what Daddy Rich said on Car Wash, Richard Pryor.
That's good. That's real good. I like that one.
Better to have money and not to need it and need it not to have it. Yeah, that's real talk. UFC 274 going down this weekend, man. Charles Oliveira in the main event versus Justin Gaethje, as well as Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza, Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. Shogun's going to be making a return back to the octagon as well versus over St. Prude. That's the fight I'm wondering about. What the hell is going on here? As well as the Cowboy, Don Cerrone versus Joe Loza. The Cowboy is going to make one last ride inside the octagon versus Joe Logan, a long-time UFC fighter, man. This guy been around forever. He's grown up inside the octagon. So definitely that might be a good fight. But let's just concentrate on the main event, man, because we don't have a whole lot of time here. Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira, the champion. Who you got in this fight, man?
Man, I love Justin Gaethje. I think that he's underrated as a wrestler. We know he loves to get in there and bring the violence. I think Charles Oliveira has been operating on another level, but I think Justin Gaethje is a better Michael Chandler, and we saw Michael Chandler give Oliveira some problems in Houston. So I'm actually going to go with Justin Gaethje as the new champion.
Oh, my. I got Oliveira in that fight just because he's grown up, man. He's grown up inside the octagon, and he's fighting on another level right now. Namajunas Esparza, who you got in that fight?
Thug Rose. How can you go against? I'm the best. Thug Rose.
All right. I'm going with Thug Rose as well. Chandler versus Ferguson. Who you got in that fight?
Oh, it's Michael Chandler. Tony Ferguson hadn't been the same since that fight with Justin Gaethje, actually.
I feel the same way. We're definitely gonna find out. We're gonna find out if there's anything left in the tank of Tony Ferguson, one of the most diverse fighters that we've ever seen inside the octagon. We just wondered, do he still have it? That's the question. Who you got in that Shogun St. Preux fight? Who you got there?
It's such a hard. It's kind of a toss-up.
It is.
OSP has never really just impressed me though. Like he's had good fights. He's never had great performances. I'm just gonna go Shogun just for the hell of it.
I'm gonna go with Ovens, man. I'm just gonna go with Ovens just because he's younger. And I think he just has a little bit more left in the tank, more so than Shogun, as well as the Lozon versus Cowboy. Both of those guys are cowboys, pretty much. But they don't mind going in there and throwing hands like gunslingers, man. So who you got in that fight?
I mean, I don't think Don Cerrone is in winning mode anymore. You know, I think although Lozon's a good matchup for him. I think Lozon is a good matchup for him. It's a lot better than some of these guys he's been getting lately. You know what? Let's see him ride out to the sunset. Let's go Cowboy Cerrone. I'm going against my gut, but I'm going to go with Cowboy.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna go Cowboy, man. I'm gonna go Cowboy.
Why not?
Let's go Cowboy in the last fight. Last round. I don't want to. You know what? I'm thinking Lozon, but I'm gonna go with the Cowboy.
I'm going Cowboy too.
All right, we got to get out of here, man. We got to get out. I want to thank everybody, man. I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with myself and my man Brad Gilmore inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Same place, same time. Next week, we're going to, like the movie back in the day, let's do it again. We're going to do it again next week. But right now, guys, peace. We out.
Sucker!